Hello, folks. How's everybody doing today? Uh, Everybody's gone but me. I'm here by myself. Well, the dog. There's a dog over there. He ain't much to talk to, but he will let you scratch his ears all you want to. But anyway, I got a little bit hungry, so I thought I'd fix me a pot of oyster stew. Thought I'd go ahead and do a little video on it. I don't know. I don't know how many people like oyster stew. Down here in the South, everybody, not everybody, but a whole lots of people like oyster stew. And mother, my daddy, my brother, sister, and all of them, they all loved it much as I do. And my wife now, yeah, it's a different story. You don't even want to talk to her about no oyster stew. She don't know part of it. But now my son, he likes it. And I had a granddaughter. She's passed on now. But she loved it. She every time I fixed it, she'd sit down by me and eat it, much as I would when she was just a little bitty thing. But anyway, I thought I'd do it because I'm hungry, and when you're hungry, you got to do something about it. But I use canned oysters. Uh, that's what we always used. My daddy always used Tversky oysters, which is red can with the Indian head. We called them Indian head oysters. But you can't hardly find them anymore. I used to have them at my grocery store, but now, just every once in a while you'll have them. But these here are pretty good. About any canned oyster, is good. If you know the brand. And but anyway, you just pour them in your pot. I pour water and all in the pot because that water's got a good flavor to it. And but I always put them in the pot and I bring them up to heat. I don't. I always get them hot, boil them. Make sure they're okay. But you don't want your oyster stew. You don't want to ever boil, your milk. You don't want to scorch your milk, and it's got milk. About all it consists of is a can of oysters and butter and milk and a little cream if you want it. I use about half and half, but it just makes it better. But and then the butter, I usually use about 2 tablespoons for a pot this size, about 2 cups. Uh, and you put a little more butter in it if you want. It's up to you. And then salt and pepper. Now, salt, I put quite a bit of salt in it because if you, any type of seafood, it comes from the ocean. So naturally, you want it to taste like the ocean. You want it salty, a salty taste. But you just get your oysters heating up with your salt in it, and you put whatever pepper you want. I like pepper, a lot of pepper in mine. I like mine just straight, no hot sauce, no nothing. And there's one, there's two. That's quite a bit of butter, but this ain't diet food. And I'm sure it probably ain't good for you, but hey, you gotta enjoy life a little bit along the way. So, but anyway, I got these things boiling, and let your butter melt, and then be ready to put your cream in it, your milk, and then just let it come up slow. Heat up slow. It usually takes me a while to get mine because I don't want to boil that milk because it don't take but a second to run the oyster stew. Now, if you're using pure cream or whatever, it wouldn't matter. But when you're using whole milk or whatever, you don't want to scorch your milk. But anyway, that's I let it come to a boil, let it cook a minute. You know, and my oysters already cooked, and cook them in that can. But I like to cook them, get all the flavors mixing good, you know, and going around in it. But my daddy, he could eat. He could probably eat his weight in oyster stew. He loved oyster stew. He loved oysters, and they lived in Florida for a while. When I was a kid, we lived down there for a while. And I had a couple of uncles live down there. My sister lived all but 16 years of her life down there, and had all her children were born in St. Pete area, and they still live there, most of them. But oyster stew is really good. I just want to pour my milk in there now. And it's a boiling, but that milk will cool her down, and then we just let that bad boy cool. I'll show you. Show it to you here. That's some good stuff. Then you want this use crackers. That's all I eat, just saltine crackers for mine. And nobody sponsors me. The only one that sponsors me is my pocketbook. But right here, premium crackers. If you don't have them, it's they're different. That's the best cracker on the market, as far as I'm concerned. Everybody got their own taste, but this right here is. I've been eating them all my life. My daddy wouldn't even eat nothing without if it wasn't saltine. So, but he was pretty stubborn. My daddy was. He if he was hungry, he would eat anything, you know. But if he wasn't hungry and could be a little bit, you know, choosy on what he eats, he eat what he wanted. And he worked really hard all his life, you know. And so he deserved he deserved a lot more than what he ever had, but that's a different story. But y'all need to, if you like seafood and you like oysters and stuff like that, you ought to try this. Really good, especially on a cold day like today. It started warming up a little bit around here, but I live in North Georgia, right here at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountain. But it's a beautiful day today, but it's cold. But it's starting to warm up. It won't be long. We'll be starting seeds. I'm not going to plant much in my garden this year. Just a little bit of stuff, tomatoes and cucumbers, and some taters, and I don't know, maybe some green beans. I don't have a big garden to start with. It's just a few above ground beds. I'm not even going to plant any buckets this year. You know, I got a couple of big buckets. I may throw a tomato in there, or a couple of potatoes in there. They make quite a few potatoes in a little bucket. We love potatoes. So I'll probably do that, but not a whole lot. But now tomatoes, I can eat about 2 tomatoes a day if I've got them. And you know, in the summertime when they're fresh. In the wintertime, I don't care nothing about them. You know, you can't grow a hothouse tomato. You know, God meant for tomatoes to be born and raised in His sunshine. You grow in his sunshine, his rain. No artificial lights and all that. So that's the way I eat my tomatoes in the summertime. I love tomato sandwiches. Lord have mercy, they're good. And my brother, he thinks he's world's greatest oyster cooker. He is, but he's 5 years younger than me. He's still a baby. But you know, all he knows is what me and Daddy taught him. That's and it was hard to really teach him anything. But now he's knows everything about it. But now I love him. I aggravate him a lot because I can. But he's a good boy. He's worked like me. He's worked like a dog. He's still working. I've been watching on YouTube or on the Facebook, and everybody wants to be a cartoon. I don't know what's up with that. I used to love to watch cartoons when I was a kid, but I ain't never wanted to be one. But I might try it. They look pretty good. It makes them look younger. Some of them I've seen, so the next time y'all see me, I may be a cartoon. Who knows? But I'm gonna taste this right here, see if it's getting hot. It's getting there close. Getting close. Yeah, boy. It don't like much, and it's gonna be good. I tell you, it is. I probably fixed more than I should have, but I'd rather have too much is not enough, as they say, because ain't nothing no worse than getting into oyster stew and taking that last bite and wanting some more and it not be there. So that's gonna be hot enough right there. You can tell it'll start foaming just a little around the edge. That's when you want to really watch out, because if you're not careful, it'll get to that point. I sort of baby it along, taste it. I like it a little bit hotter than that, so we'll let it. I cut the eye off, so it ain't gonna boil, but it'll continue to heat up a little bit. But these oysters are pretty good, but they're not as good as Tversky. I don't know. And to be honest with you, I think Tversky oysters come from Korea, but it's just something about the type of oyster they are, and they got a lot of flavor to them. And you can make this out of fresh oysters, a lot of people do. I've done it before, but I just soon have it this way. They're about the same to me, about the same taste and all at the end of it. And these are convenient. You can keep your can in the cabinet, and when you get to hankering, you ain't got to worry about going hunting up fresh oysters somewhere at the grocery store that might not be fresh to start with. So I just I'm gonna put a little bit more butter in that. I believe it wouldn't hurt it a bit to have that butter. But this is it. I mean, this milk, butter, salt, pepper, and oysters. That's all it is. I just happen to have me a bowl right here. Need to get something to dip it with. Yeah, boy. Folks, this right here is going to be good. I'm here to tell you it's going to be really good. You got to be sure you get plenty of oysters in there. And that's how I did it right there. Boy, if I can get these crackers out of here. We'll I don't want to make no long video. I know y'all want to sit around and watch somebody make a bowl of soup all day. I try to keep this thing short, but here's the way I put my crackers all over on one side, like so. And but anyway, we'll get this up here where you can see it. Get that. There you go. See how I got that. And you just drag your crackers up around there, get your oyster, and give her a taste test. Son, we're done. Folks, as it gets, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but it's some good stuff. But I'm going to get off here because I got to eat this and I don't want it to get cold at all. But I appreciate y'all watching. If you like my old videos, which, you know, I ain't much on making videos and I'm an old man, pretty slow. But if you like it, you know, give me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel. But I just want the ones that's watching me, I thank you and I appreciate you. And I want all of you to remember that God loves you and I love you. And y'all have a wonderful day. And I'll see you on the next one.